So for this solo GM, I want you to achieve two things. Number one, a unique hunter loadout. And secondly, filling in the gaps of the GMs that I haven't done so far this season. If you do have the selector in order, which by the way, to get the selector in order, you've got to guild your Conqueror Seal at least once by doing the triumphs. But it actually tells you what the rotation of GMs will be. For example, week 1 of this season was Hibernate. Then it was Heist Battleground Mars. Then it was Psyops Battleground Cosmodrome. This week it's Lake of Shadows. So next week it's going to be Psyops Battleground Moon. So I have not done Psyops Battleground Moon yet, and it's pointless for me to do that today. I'll just wait till Tuesday, and then we do it when the reset comes up. Pointless to me to do it because it's coming up shortly, right? So I've done all the other GMs apart from Scarlet Keep. So that's what we're going to be going with. Scarlet Keep, Arc Surge, Void Surge. Champions are Barrier Unstop. The Fret is Arc. Fire Pit is on. Standardized GM mods, in my opinion. So this is where I'm using a different build that you would never have probably... You might have seen it before, I don't know. This is a clone build. Now, Balance of Power, I thought to be a useless exotic, but to my surprise, I don't think it is as useless as what we all thought. Here's what it says it does. Double down. Your Threaded Spectre has increased duration and durability, and damaging it releases additional Threadlings while your Threaded Spectre you do not appear on the radar. Interesting. Right, well, on Dim's description, you'll see on screen, Community Insight grants the following to Threaded Spectre. 50% damage resistance to your Threaded Spectre. 34% increased duration of that Spectre. And 2 perched Threadlings, I guess, is generated when it's destroyed or whatever. Perched Threadlings are released when the Spectre takes 40 damage. Destroying the Spectre releases both Threadlings. Now, being within 15 meters of your own Spectre grants the hidden buff, which removes you from enemy radar. That's PvP based, but there is some PvE benefits to having clones or Spectres, which we'll go over in the run. Alright? So that's what it actually does. On to the actual build itself. We're using Silk Strike. It's an unorthodox build. Marksman's Dodge for the lower cooldown. We don't want Gambler. I don't need it. I want a lower cooldown dodge. So look, 29 seconds, 38 seconds. It's not just a 10-second thing. That's the base cooldown. Once you multiply that on tiers of ability, it starts to change the cooldown of your dodge quite a lot, depending on which one you pick. So we went for the lower cooldown dodge. Threaded Spike's the only one we got. We went with Grapple Grenade. Aspects, now this is important. Threaded Spectre has to go on unless the build does not make sense. This gives you your clones. And Ensnaring Slam. Activate your air move to consume, or your class ability to do a suspend and burst. But when you do that, you get a clone. Because you've used your class ability. So you're not only suspending, but you're getting a clone with it. Fragments had to be highly curated for this. Threaded of Generation. Threaded of Continuity, so when we do suspend, that suspend is longer. Thread of Mind for class ability energy when we suspend, which we're doing that all the time. And lastly, Thread of Warding has to go on for a bit of common sense, because we want damage resist from Woven Mail when we get an Orb of Power. Weapons-wise, so we're using Supremacy for Barrier Champions, Le Monarch because it's the best void weapon in the game, primary-wise at this minute. That's not the only reason why we're using it. It's because of the artifact mods. And Fire and Forget, a fantastic linear fusion rifle, heavier one that sits in the heavy slot, of course, Chill Clip. The fact it's got Chill Clip. So, because of Volatile Marksman, it gives you class ability energy. I wanted to build into that with Le Monarch combination with Balance of Power to get more dodges and get more clones. Yeah, that's exactly why we've got that on. I know Le Monarch's been spammed a lot, but I'm giving you a bit back by giving you a unique build. These are the artifact mods that I have equipped. Dreadful Finish is a very important one for this. It's important in all GMs. You always run that. Here's the mods on screen, not going too much into it. Utility kickstart build with a stasis scav, double arc resist, a concussive dampener, some loaders, some siphons, heavy ammo finder, nothing too fancy. Procs wards, kind of nice. But yeah, that's literally what we use for that. You want to have highish mobility. I haven't really got the stats for this build, I'll be honest. I haven't got the absolute S plus stats. Just because I deleted a lot of my mobility-based gear on the last armor refresh that we had. When mobility did matter on hunters, it doesn't matter as much nowadays, but for a build like this, mobility does kind of matter. So I'm only rocking a tier 7 mobility, but I still get plenty of clones in this because of volatile marksman with a void primary. That was the unique build. So on with the run. So I'm excited to see how well these threaded Spectre clones are going to perform in this, and whether we can manipulate AI with them and such. So Scarlet keeps a pretty rare GM, isn't it? It's almost like a little rare Pokemon card, but in Destiny 2 terms. We never get Scarlet Keep as a GM. It's a rare GM. Whenever Scarlet Keeps up, you play it. It's a damn rare rarity. Right, we're going to do a mini skip here. You still get platinum rank. No, don't worry about it. We're going to grapple our way up. You don't need grapple. Just jump up, make these jumps. We'll do a little bit of attic cleaning. I mean, who's maintaining Scarlet Keep's attics? I think I'll have to do it, won't I? Because no one else seems to be doing it. So I guess I can do that, can't I? Look at the dust. I mean, when's the last time they done cleaning around here with this? So, initial champ can be skipped. You still get platinum rank. We're going to go right side first. My goal is to take down the champ, nothing else. So we got him weak with the sniper. We're getting flinched. We get flinched a lot in this, right? We finish him off with the linear. He's one shot. Boom, he's done. Double arc resist is huge in this because of arc threat. Right, then we'll make our way to the opposite side. There's 2 barrier champs here. We're going to get a clone up. Look at the ads. The focus and the clone. Including the champ as well. Or he was. I'll have more thoughts about these spectres and clones as we go on with the run. The champ has backtracked because most of his allies are being killed. He does that. You'll notice that if you do. That's fine though. We've got a good angle to take on him. We have our first super to burn. So we're going to go and do it. Left side first. I do left side first because left side's an easier dunk. Right side... left side's the harder dunk. Got it wrong. And right side's the easiest dunk on the final section because I grapple over there. Right, we're going to go super. Popping our damn decoys. Now, the idea with this is completely different to what you've ever thought or think of. When it comes to supers, I have a rotation of 3 decoys, heavy attack, 3 decoys, heavy attack. Yes, I've even worked out that there's an actual optimal rotation to sort of... So what the idea of this is to keep spamming ensnare and slam for clones, generate 3 to 6 clones, and then basically not ignite them, but shatter them with your heavy attack whip. Yeah. Now, don't judge it too heavily because this super's not very good on floating targets. Yeah. So because there's a bit of weird detection, but imagine if Strand Surge was up, the damage that I would be doing with these decoys, right? Because you're getting a load of Fredlins. I think at the what did I say at the start of the video? 2 Fredlins per clone, right? So you're going to be getting a lot of Fredlins as you shatter them and they all go to a boss. It's actually a very interesting playstyle. Look, we do another slam that suspends the targets. It stops the knight. We're farming him up for super energy. Look at super energy. Get super. The goal is to have a super for each wizard. Right, this is having a nice flow to the GM, right? Look, got another super. Let's use it. Again, it all depends on... There's a bit of sometimes it's better than other times, right? Sometimes the friends seem to do a bit more damage than other times. Like that time it did a little bit more than the first wizard, for example, right? But you'll see me use this more and more. You'll get more chances and opportunities to see it. So not only is it good for neutral game, it's decent for, look at that swing there, we just made it. It's also decent in your super. If you're not using Star Eater skills, then this is something that you can consider when you're doing stuff with, what's the name of this super again? I forget the name of it. Silk Strike. When you're doing things with Silk Strike, it's something that you could consider. I'm going to try this build again when Strand Surge is up. All right, that's what I'm going to do. And also on a different GM. On a GM with no floating targets. Because this is all wizards, isn't it? It's all wizards. So on one hand, I picked a good GM, but on another hand, yeah, the floating wizards were a little bit of a hindrance to what I'm trying to perform here. Champa's backed up to the back of the map, or the bridge area, that's fine. Right, now we're on the bridge area, we're just going to get some void detonations, try and get rid of these ads. We're getting our super. That's exactly what we're going to do. Oh, which way are we doing it? Oh, okay, on this one we do something different. So look at this, we do a grapple. Look at the damage there. See? See, now an ogre's not a floating target. I mean, technically he was in that suspend and burst, but look at the amount of damage we did with Silk Strike there in combination with the Fredlin burst damage. Yeah, because you're actually making the Silk Strike do more damage. Burst damage, not more total damage. You'll actually get more damage out of the super if you just do light swings with it. But that's not the point of the video, is it? It's not about saying, well, how do you optimally use Silk Strike? No. This is a clone build, and we're trying to make some use out of it and see if it's actually usable in endgame. And it is. It is more than usable, especially on neutral gameplay where there's times where you need to distract enemies, and we'll do that quite often. Now we're going to freeze the two wizards. This is how good this linear is. Literally, I think this linear might be top 3 linears in the game. Because what you need to understand with Chill Clip is that it works on every enemy type. It's not just about barrier champs anymore. It's about freezing VIPs. That was close, by the way. It's about freezing VIP targets, controlling enemies. It's the best utility LFR in the game, legendary-wise, which is Fire and Forget, with Field Prep and Chill Clip. It can technically stun all 3 champs. Barriers... You know, you're better off having a barrier weapon in combination with it to make it more consistent. You know, don't rely on it for everything. I'm just saying it's technically possible to stun all 3 types because of Chill Clip. Now, the barrier is the focus. He is the focus. Look at that. We melt him down there. Then we'll just get rid of some of these acolytes. And now what we're going to do is freeze this Shrieker. Here we go. Look at this. Look at the rotation of the Shrieker. It's stopped. Then we can clean him up with the Sniper. See, Sniper's actually better for Scarlet Keep than a Rocket Sidearm because he's like I said before on my other run, this particular Sniper does more damage than Tina's. And it's an overall better barrier weapon, but it's not as good as Tina's on ads. But when you've already got ads under control, you are okay to use a Sniper, which I've got ads under control, and I've got Chill Clip in my heavy slot anyways. You see, so Fire and Forget is fulfilling the role of Tina's, but in the heavy slot, kind of, because it's Chill Clip, isn't it? Look at what we just did there. So we done that, pitched up in that corner, took advantage of our half of our super left, right? Got the Fredlin detonation damage, then clean him up with Supremacy. And that was really good how it just performed there. Really nice. We end up using more of our super in more of a wasteful way, but there are benefits to it. And it makes me think about how I could optimize this build further forward for other GMs and such. Now you can also do... Well, look, we're going to put a clone up there first, by the way. I'll explain this first. Wizard needs to go, middle wizard, but look at where we are. We're in a good spot. The wizard is completely on our clone. The clone explodes. 2 Fredling damage. Boom, wizard is dealt with. Look at how good that is. As you know, I do a lot of AI manipulation in the game. I study the ads, the acolytes, the Cabal enemies, all of the enemies. I know all of their moves. But this changes the game a little bit for me with the clones. Because I've never been a big Freddy Spectre user. Never have I. But because of the buffs to Freddy Spectre and all this stuff, and the amount of clones that you can make now, it has me second guess about the whole playback loop of it being actually better than what we think, and what I think at least. Because I didn't give any credit to Balance of Power. I think I might have used Balance of Power once before today. Mainly because, well, I didn't really know what it was doing for the Spectres. But now that I know how much it's buffing the clones, it's actually kind of worth it. You can kind of do a clone build. Most fun I've had on a hunter for a long time. You know, I've been complaining about hunters. About how bored I am on Prismatic and how bored I am on stuff. Although, what I will say is, you can do clone build on Prismatic as well. There's a way of doing it on that. But remember, you do not have Ensnare and Slam. So I wanted to do the Ensnare and Slam, which requires full strand. That's why you're seeing a full strand clone run rather than a Prismatic clone run. Because I want to really showcase the clones off as much as possible in supers and such. Prismatic does not have access to that. You cannot do the Slam on Prismatic. But you can obviously use Balance of Power on Prismatic, and there's a way of doing it. I think if you pair it with Radiant Dance Machines, you've got a way of generating a lot of clones, but I still think, I mean, yeah, that's good. I need to have a explore with that. Because it's Prismatic, it's probably going to be base better than my build, but this video is to try and open your eyes a little bit about, you know, hunter mains, about other things that you can do in PvE. That's basically the goal of the video. This wizard's being really awkward. I'm trying to get him finishable. We have a super here to use. I was about to use it, but because we've dealt with the wizard, I don't think I end up using my super here. Just because I didn't really need to use it. We're capping left and right plates, by the way. This is intentional. You cap middle plate last, because that sets you up for the barrier at the end. There's a final barrier champ that spawns in mid, but if you're in mid anyways, you're in a good position to kill him. So, cap plates left and right, then middle last. Got it? Have a super for each side, like I did. I was about to use it, but my wizard was killed. So I was like, oh, I may as well not use it. It's pointless to use it now. I think I use it on the middle champ, actually. So look at this. We're dealing with these champs. We use the stairs. Good damage with Supremacy there. Really good damage with it. Honestly, the amount of damage Supremacy does, it doesn't even feel like a sniper anymore. It's so easy to use compared to any other sniper in the game. It just outclasses all snipers. Supremacy, you need to make sure you go and craft it. Any sniper with kinetic tremors on, it basically just outclasses all other snipers in the game. They're just that good. And the ease of use of them as well. The ease of use. 2 shots. 2 shots, you get kinetic tremors. So, right, middle plate we're capping. Barrier champ is going to spawn middle. There we go, there he is. Let's set off kinetic tremors. Clears out the snipers. We're going to pop a super here, actually. Like I said. We actually dodged backwards. I don't know what I was doing there. I was lucky that that barrier didn't shield. I slammed backwards rather than forwards by accident. No big deal, though. Barrier was killed. And we have dealt with that room. 13 minutes in. We're now on to the lead up to the Scarlet Tower thing. Okay, so this hill section, there's more than likely a bane here. From what I've been playing Scarlet Keep, there's always seems to be a bane on this hill of some sort. Whether it be, you know, any bane at all. But yeah, Scarlet Keep's a very fun GM. It's probably one of the best GMs this season. It's just because, like I said, it's a rare GM. So when it comes up, it's a pleasure to play it. The only annoying thing is that wizards in the game have bad hit reg for mostly all supers in the game. Any Roman super that you use on a wizard has bad hit reg on wizards. For whatever reason, I don't know. There's a floating target thing. There always has been issues like that. Right, we've dealt with all the ads. We're going to stun lock this unstop first. Sorry, this barrier. Before he starts melting me. right? So we sort of get some free shots to slow him. Then we go in with the supremacy damage. Get a finisher kill to replenish special on champs. Get used to doing that. Get used to doing that so that you keep having that healthy amount of ammo encounter by encounter, so that you don't end up getting to a situation where you have got no barrier sniper shots. That could be a problem when you're up against a double barrier situation. That definitely could be a problem. Now, you could kill them with your super because you can suspend them, yes. But don't rely just on that. You know, it's something part of the game that you should be managing your ammo. And in this case, it's never been easier to manage ammo. Literally just finish your champs. You should set yourself a goal to try and finish every single champ in a run if you're not used to it. That'll get you to the rhythm of finishing your champs and remembering to do that. Okay, we're just dealing with some of these ads. That barrier champ has backed up. I knew that he would. That's fine. This is where Luminarch comes in and speeds up the run a little bit. That's why we're running Luminarch, just for this bit. Just for bits like this where it does speed up the run. It does. You know, if you're like spending an extra 5 seconds per red bar, yeah, and say there's 50 red bars in a run, you're going to be losing 2, 3, 4 minutes on the run. Longer. That will then test your patience, especially if it's a really bad primary you're using. Then it's 10 minutes longer the run. 10 minutes is a hell of a long time in a solo. This is why you won't see many people using legendary primaries in GMs, and I've said this a few times, is because they're just not effective enough, and the exotic primary meta, when Bungie set that 2 years ago or whatever, whenever they set that buff, we've been in an exotic primary meta for GMs ever since. I know that there's Prismatic, Consecration Titan. I'm not talking about abilities, I'm talking about weapons. For weapons, you know, we have been in that meta. So that's why I'm saying, you know, for example, if I used a Void Primary Bow, I could do, and it would be effective-ish, but the run would just be that much slower because of it. Yeah? And just use an exotic primary. We don't need an exotic heavy in GM. We don't need an exotic kinetic in GM, unless it's the weapons that I've mentioned in the past. Look at what we just did there, though. We've cleared out the entire room. We didn't kill Barrier. I know. We was a little bit too eager with the damage, so you've got to time it right so that you come out your super so you can break his shield. That didn't happen, but that's fine. At least I'm still showcasing the clones off to you, and that's the goal of the run. Okay, we need to get this guy finishable. He is finishable. There we go. He gives us a heavy brick. That's good. Special is a little low. Like I was just on about just before, managing ammo and stuff. I'm not liking the ammo that I've got, because remember, I am actually going to be coming up towards 2 double barriers. Right, we're going to do a little exploit here just to speed it up. Well, actually, no, it doesn't even speed it up at all. It just means that I don't have to deal with snipers. So look, you can have a little rest. This exotic emote is very good because it's a face forward to make you understand what's going under the hood for D2 with this. The ads seem to track your head box. So if your head box of your guardian is in a wall, you will not be tracked by them. It seems to be that they're sensing your crit box. You have a crit. It's your head, of course. If you can get your head in a wall, I know it sounds daft, but I'm not trolling you. That's literally how it works. Get your head in a wall, ads will de-aggro. It really is simple as that. But this emote that I'm using is probably the best one for it. There are other emotes. There's the chair emote, there's the Voltaglass chair emote, and there's all that stuff. There's a few of them, I use them all. But this one's better because you're facing forward. And you're kneeling into it. The wall, that is. Barrier champ here on left, we need to melt him. That's exactly what I did. He's a priority. If we don't, he's going to hang out in middle and be a nuisance. We do a super here. Our goal is to not kill Barrier. Our goal is to kill the wizard. Again, sometimes look, because he's a floating target, some of those Fredlings aren't tracking. But we still got him finishable. That's fine. That's what we wanted anyways. Look at the special ammo. So that worked out in the end, actually. It was better that we didn't kill him, because then we could finish him. Barrier Champ is backing up. That's okay. Let's get rid of him. Manage between. This is why it's so good having double crit weapon for Scarlet Keep. It's a very precision-based GM. What I would call as a precision-based GM, where having crit weapons on is favourable in this because, I mean, for starters, the boss has a weakness to precision damage. All right, wizards generally do. Like in Shattered Throne, Dull Karoo has a weakness to crit. Well, this boss does as well. So it's good for that. It's good having crit weapons on for all your champs. Yeah, so it's really good this way to have double crit weapon with an exotic primary. It works out pretty good. Same thing again, we're doing, look, the emote. I'm making sure my crit box is in that damn wall, and it is. If we was to fail it, we would get sniped to oblivion and probably die. You get 2-tapped in this, I was shocked. It's Arc Threat, right? The Acolytes do void shots, and they 2-shot you. Literally, I've been 2-tapped today by them. And I was like, what? I didn't think they would 2-tap, especially in today's sandbox, but they do. So you got to be careful of that. But double arc resist is more beneficial because there's that much arc that you're dealing with in the entire run that it's just better to have arc resist on. You know, you can get by the void snipers. All right, we haven't got a super. That's fine. So we're just going to have to. We're going to make a decoy. Let's analyze. Look, the barrier, the unstop as went right to my decoy. Look at that, how good that is. That's really good. That's powerful in a different way. I think, right, it's had me think a lot today about hunters and the conversation about, you know, hunters aren't very good in PvE sandbox compared to Titan and Warlock, and this is true. You just look at Vesper's Host. Look at what happened with Vesper's Host. All your hunter mains struggled in that. Even the best players, week 1, day 1s. Whereas Warlock and Titans didn't. There was a strat for both. What I think they need to do is buff clones even more to the point where ads will be on a clone for a long time. Similar effect to the Onslaught Shaxx copy from Onslaught. Yeah, you know, remember how good Shaxx was? The copy you can make where you upgrade him. I think the Threaded Spectres should be as good as a Shaxx in terms of decoying an ad away from you for up to 20-30 seconds. That might sound like a long time, but the hunter is lacking healing kits, especially prismatic wise. So to strengthen them up, have them be a decoy class. Have them be the master of. I mean, they are the only class that does this, I suppose. But just buff them even further, because even when I post this video, some hunter mains will try this, but I don't think a lot of you will convert off. But what I'm saying is, if Bungie wanted people to convert more to like this type of way of playing, which is a completely new way of playing actually, they would need to buff the clones even more than now to make them insane, to the point where, oh, I should be using this rather than them buffing them, you know, a little bit, and then people saying, wow, that's kind of wild, but yeah, I'm going to go back to my Prismatic Hunter build, thank you. That's how people carry on in this game. They do. They don't want to convert. To get people to convert, you have to do something game-changing like you did with the Titans, where Prismatic Consecration was taking over the game. When Striker Titan Storm's Keep came out, that converted some Titans off Consecration, even if it was only for a little while, and it did work. What I'm saying, with the Freddy clones, if they make them even better than now, maybe double them up. So 4 Fredlings per clone, 100% resistance rather than 50%. Double up all the numbers that I give you at the start of the video. Boom, then you've got something that's something you would use on a day 1 contest, raid or dungeon. That's where they need to look at getting this, because this is really interesting. It's a completely different way of playing. We're not relying on invis in any sense. We're not really relying on any build kits, although we've got Woven Mail built into our build. Although it's only a few seconds of Woven Mail, so it's no big deal. But I just think this is entirely, you know, something completely different to everything else in the game. And I just think it's a good thing. I think it's pretty strong now. And on Prismatic, I will be more likely to use Threaded Spectre, more than what I was doing at least. Just because of how much the ads are aggroed on those clones. It wasn't like this before. When I tried this last year, on Prismatic at least, it was nowhere near like this. So there's been some buffs to it. I don't know what dates that has happened. Right, double wizard is killed. We're going to come to this location here. Really good place to stand. We're just going to do all our crit damage here. Look at the health bar. This is what I was on about. We've only done 4 or 5 sniper shots. Boss is already sendable. Yeah, this boss is weakened to crit damage. That's why it's so good having double weapons that are crit. Because that just ensures that you have enough ammo for each HP bar. And that you can spam more crit damage on some of the champs as well. So it just works out. We've got a shielded, or a Drain Bane. We pop a super. Look at this. Super's doing really fantastic work. We keep making clones as we do combination of that with light swings. The super doesn't last as long because of it. But the upshot is you're getting those clones and those Fredlings. So you're paying more super bar for more Fredlings in your super. And I think it's an interesting payoff. It's not one of those payoffs where you say, oh, well, it wasn't worth what you just did there. No, that was actually decent. Because them clones are going to be a decoy for ads. And even when they are destroyed, we get a payout of Fredling damage. So you don't actually lose anything. Not really. Wizard has pushed. We're going to do some crit damage on him here. He's finishable, which I want to get the finish on him for the ammo, but the second wizard is pelting us. Now notice that the boss is completely idle on this phase. Which the boss is, that's the thing, when the boss is shielded like that, the boss is no threat at all. So you can do what you want really. We had a lot of problems with this final wizard. I don't know, just getting bad angles. We get this knight here. Didn't realise there was an Arc Knight still alive. We need to get rid of him as well. Okay, now we should be able to get rid of the wizard. I'm getting pretty weak off him though. Literally done. We're going to try and slam the second wizard because he's full HP. And these wizards are actually the worst part of this boss run. Just dealing with the wizards. It is annoying. So we'll get rid of that first wizard and then slam the second one. That's what I'm planning to do. There we go. Because like I said, the main boss is actually no threat right now. He's just a dummy at the minute. So look, the boss is doing nothing. So all we want to do is just focus that wizard. I'm going to slam him. But he's just being annoying because the wizard just wants to be on top of the other one. It's weird. We get our suspend slam. Cannot get our crit because he is stunned in an awkward way, but that's fine. We just need to get him finishable, that is it. There we go. Finisher. To maintain special ammo, we've got a brick there as well. So we're actually good. We've got plenty of special. This is second phase. Same thing. We want to do our crit damage. We want to send the boss entirely. It's best to do that because that spawns in all the enemy waves at once. Yeah. Rather than just doing it bit by bit. So we want to melt. Get rid of the boss. That boss becomes not a threat. So now on this phase there's 2 unstoppable champions, a bunch of Arc Knights, I believe. We're going to make a decoy here. We're going to see what it does. There we go. Unstoppable has aggroed on the decoy. Look at this. That decoy's tanking a lot. This is what I'm on about. This has changed what I think about with the decoys. Look at how much that tanked. Remember, balance of power buffs these decoys. And last year, if you'd asked me, you know, should you run balance of power, I would have said, no, you're crazy. You shouldn't run it ever. But now if you would ask me, should I run balance of power? Well, I would actually change my opinion a little bit, you know, because there's a version of this on Prismatic Hunter. And people love Prismatic Hunter, so if you want to run balance of power on a Prismatic Hunter, you can. If you want to run this full strand version, you can. Because I'm showing you that I can in this video. So if I can, then you can, can't you? Obviously, there's a video proof of me showing you the effectiveness of the boots. So because of the buffs to clones, it's made it kind of viable. Which is very interesting to me. I didn't realise that it was this good. Okay, final wave. We melted down the unstartable and everything. They're a non-factor, especially where we're standing. It's a good place to stand, is that. Really is a good place to stand. It's beneficial for DPS as well. I know it's a little bit of a location, but it's handy so that you don't need to jump around when you damage and you just crit, and it's easy for damage. See? Like right now, look. We don't need to dance around with the boss. We just do our crit. The boss behaves. We'll finish the boss off with crit damage and we're gonna pop super if we have to, which I end up doing so, because loads of ads will spawn in. No champs will though, of course. But that's exactly what we're going to do. So yeah, that was a solo GM with a clone make and build. Honestly, it surprised me. I had a lot of fun in this. You probably should try out the build. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.